Already got him? Wait, you already beat Tyson? That doesn't sound right. Shut-off's very good. So is Dachshund. Not all the right. All right, nice, 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 nice. If I'm not mistaken, Tyson says he flips a coin before every game, which is crazy. Thank you, cat. Come here. You're okay. Oh my goodness, please. I'm not gonna let you down. Okay. Skill Theory with the follow. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have Dachshund with Marksman Spec, Collar, Arclight was the, or sorry, it would be, yeah, Collar, Arclight was the opening pack with Crawlers being unlocked. We got Orange Man tucked into this little corner over here, very good. I see Dachshund do this a lot, right? I see these like little storm collars up front. I've been trying to experiment it with myself. I am very bad with this unit still, so let's see how he utilizes it. We have Giant Spec with Shadoff over here, and they go Fang Ball, and then we have Double Crawler as an opener. Interesting positioning. If I'm not mistaken, these are going to get absolutely obliterated by the arc lights. Left is left wide open. And once these start to kind of lock down on these crawlers, it should be kind of a massacre. And this tower is about to go down over here. And it's down. Means this dies instantly, and then this gets crushed. And realistically, Dachshund lost nothing of his army, so this is quite a bit of damage round one. Okay, we're going into round two now. Cards up for grabs here. Intensive Training is like one of those immediate ones. Shadoff goes for Deployment Module, and Dachshund skips. I can see that from Dachshund. I don't hate it. I think the only real thing that was like really worth picking up there, I guess Shadoff decides that Deployment Module is fine. I'm not sure if this is going to be an attempt to try to transition some stuff out of this side into this side, right? So we can sell Deployment Module and then start to refocus everything out of Dachshund's right side, which is his strong side. Oh. Oh. Okay, that took an unexpected turn. Dachshund opens up with these vertical fangs up front. This is an incredibly powerful defensive tool. All these units right here will kind of coalesce to this area, which gives these Stormcallers kind of free reign here. However, what's probably going to happen here, right, is that this is going to potentially nab an early tower, allowing these balls to get in, do a lot of work, and you know, potentially swing around. And right, we also have Deployment Module from Shadoff that allows us to put it on this unit and kind of redeploy it wherever we want to. So some cool stuff. However, this is gonna be kind of moot, it looks like, mainly because it just didn't get there early enough. So I mean, this is all alive, this is all alive, and this level 3 marksman will reshot this this boat. Here we see 1, 2, 3. Yep. So Shadoff limited some bleeding there, but still took an absolute truckload of damage. Rhino for Shadoff. I see this often in this sort of like aggro setup here. These early Rhinos can just be so swingy. Instead of not sure I understand what this is trying to do here. I guess, I mean, I understand what Docs is trying to do with these crawlers, right? At the end of the day, right, if these melee units, these ground units rather, weren't on the right here, these crawlers would walk forward, up like this, and this boat would follow. But yeah, I mean, we do see the deployment module onto the boat, which makes perfect sense in this scenario. I just see a world where Doxson throws this boat like right here, and all of this dies, and it's for free, and like all that's left is really this at the end of the round. But I mean, we've got Marksman, we've got a Wraith, it's... Okay, we're opening up another front over here, but we have some vertical things up front. That's some smart stuff from Doxson. I should utilize this. This looks neat. Little Tetris looking piece, huh? And once again, as these steel balls kind of coalesce around these fangs, we should see a bunch of damage coming out from the storm haulers. Oops, sorry. And the real question now becomes, okay, so that boat's gonna get, or that rhino's gonna get through, but the tower is gonna go down, which means we get a good chunk of damage here from these storm crawlers. I mean, if that's my rhino, by the way, it's chasing these storm crawlers all the way to the next zip code. I mean, yeah, once again, like, tons of damage here. Two, yeah, it's 2 shots. So Shadow sells out of the rhino here. We go over here with the boat. Level 2 boat is an interesting breakpoint. Changes a lot of math. I mean, you might say, well, Mr. Leetwood, it's just essentially another level boat, right? But I mean, yeah, you're wrong. You're not wrong. But at the end of the day, right? Something that really changes how this works is if we do like AA forts here for Doxson, we're not going to, but if we do AA forts here, it's 3 volleys to kill a level 1 fortress. It's 6 volleys to kill a level 2, sorry, not fortress, so it's 6 volleys to kill a level 2 overlord. And that level 2 overlord is going to like 2 or 3 shot your fortress. So the time to kill here really, really matters, and it starts to become really swingy. But we see some giant spam coming out. Couple Vulcans. So it makes sense, right? We have Vulcans to kind of deal with everything on the ground, and it should, in general, win. And boats to kind of deal with what's in the air, right? Which this Wraith should basically get one-tapped by this. Yeah. This round actually might go to Shadow. Shadow might actually have a good shot at turning some things around here. This side looks like it might just still win. Oh gosh. Oh no. Yeah, that's bad. And yeah, Shadow's gonna manage to eke out a land here. I don't really see a way forward for Doxson to win this round. Oh, that's gonna do a good amount of work though. But yeah, I mean, Doxson stems a lot of bleeding here. Only really takes 800 damage. So kudos to the dog. Barrier for shut off. Barrier is smart, slows down these collars. Doxson has the potentiality of considering something like mobilized battleship, right? Like back here in the corner, back here in the corner, and yeah, certainly we do. That makes sense, right? Yep, right here makes perfect sense. When someone's kind of doing this like forward stuff, right? Something I want to talk about is like if this board is a canvas, right? You can think about this in like negative space, and this is all negative space that isn't really being occupied and can be exploited. So we opt to, especially if we are feeling pressured to have like a response or an answer to something that's happening on the field right now. So, and this is exactly what Dachshund is doing, right? If this boat gets moved forward, so it looks like it's in the default deployment situation here, this boat will spawn in, hit this tower, or hit this tower. I think it's technically this tower. And, I mean, that's just round ending. Yeah, see? And then there should be nothing here that pulls this boat forward. And, the only scary part here is that there could be a lot of damage done before this boat actually gets the hit in, but it's going to be coming in pretty quick here, so... Oof, okay, nicely timed. We even saved the arc light here. Go figure. Yeah, hopping these boats like balloons. Nice. I mean, these crawlers are even getting in on the. Oh, that orange man dying gives up so much XP. Thankfully, Dachshund basically puts it to the point where he only needs one more round. So, I mean, the level up here is going to be a tough decision to be made for Shadoff. But another important thing to note here is the 8 credits. All right, Dachshund lone drop last round, which technically puts him 300 credits behind. So Shadoff goes for a sandworm here. And if I'm Dachshund, I don't know, double fire badger. Okay, sure. And this unit is like pretty ridiculous, so. Kind of makes sense. If the options are mediocre, why not go for not sandworm, fire badger? Something Dachshund has to kind of consider here is that we don't really have big damage dealers still. Like, we are basically relying on these storm callers to deal with the Vulcans, and the marksman to deal with the oh, I should turn off chat, huh? Let me do that real quick. Anyways, and then marksman to kind of deal with the air units, and AA marks really helps with that. This almost doubles the attack, so we're talking about 17,000 attack. That one-shots this boat. Let's see how this round begins real quick, and then we'll chat with Mamaro. And yeah, this boat's getting immediately cracked. And it's dead. This boat's gonna die here very shortly. This boat's gonna have one shot. And there's nothing left to shoot up. So if there's even one marksman or this fire badger left, it's GG. That should be it. Oh, 35? Never mind. Unrelated to the cast, Mamaro says, Clint, I went to Bird Metropolis against a cool player named Phoenix Flight. Isn't Phoenix Flight, like, pretty decent? Also, Kaka. Dachshund goes for Senior Attack Specialist, which is super cool. It looks like Shadoff still hasn't loaned. No, he did. No, he did. He did. You go haste module. Interesting. We have a level 3 Wraith over here, which is insane. Yep, there are room udders on the board. Drop your doom udders in chat, please. Nice. Dachshund catches this missile, looks like. Or is this Dachshund's missile? Looks like Dachshund's missile? Yeah. These wasps are gonna get... Oh! Oh! This Wraith cleans up pretty well over here. Oh, but it's getting tagged. Oh no, this doesn't look good for Dachshund, huh? Was that a preliminary GG from Shadoff? Can Dachshund turn it around? Underground threat's great, right? Forces a guessy back here. Dachshund can easily click this replicate button. There could be a 35 HP victory, that is true. Kind of confused on the Phoenix pickup here. I feel like we need like more wraiths, so just like a wraith here and here. It's like, seems really good to me. Oh, okay. I see what we're doing. This is an insurance policy. This missile will kill these crawlers. The Phoenixes will come in and take out these towers. Shadoff, if you look over here, right, has 2 missiles over here and only has 1 missile over here. So this is a very nice spot from Dachshund, allowing a pretty easy victory here, I think. And once again, some missile spam out from Dachshund. Looks like we're attempting to catch this wasp group here, this wasp group here, and this wasp group here. This AMS probably won't kill these missiles, as these will basically get there almost immediately. Probably will catch this one, though. Yeah, see, pop, pop. Okay, so shut off missiles, but it's just, like, not gonna be good enough, huh? Yep, towers go down. And this is just untenable for Dachshund, or Shadoff. Alright. GG. Well played, Dachshund. Good stuff. Whoa, I lost insight? Did I read that right? Why did I lose insight? I didn't even bet. Stoney, how you doing, buddy? I bet on the Mumbo Jumbo curse game, and Mumbo won that. Can't hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. No. I see myself lighting up. Okay, okay. Wait, he surrendered the curse. He won. He literally had curse dead on board. He did not surrender that. Are you serious? I'm gonna go yell at him.
Hello.
Hey, Stoney.
There you go. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. We're doing a little streamy stream. Do you mind if I stream the cast, or would you prefer that be all done locally?
No, go for it. How are you gonna set that up? You're just gonna channel my voice into your stream?
Yeah, we should be able to hear you right now. Let me double check.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Nice.
We're all good.
Nice. Yeah, and your voice sounds good.
Yay!
So,
Thank you. I've been
clear up. Yeah, clear up the echo. You should see some of the comments.
I did.
Those videos.
I was very self-conscious about some of those comments. This guy sounds like he's in a bathroom. Well, I mean,
yeah, no, it was very echoey. I got to upgrade too. I bought this really long mic arm, so now I can put the mic even closer to my mouth.
Nice. Yeah, I actually just got my mic arm in today, and I'm really grateful. I got a new spider for it, so it's all cooked up and perfectly set up.
Perfect.
But yeah, we should be ready to go. I just did the Docs and Shadoff game. That was pretty good.
Nice.
I ran into Shadoff on ladder earlier and got him good.
What's your MMR now?
It's like still 1730, dude. It's I can't.
Donating MMR.
I just like am hard stuck like mid 17s right now. It's brutal.
Yeah. 1 second. Just adjust it.
Yeah. I agree, Momo. Cursed is a bad dude. Told Mumbo to go to hell. It's pretty wild. Let me put a message in chat and pin it.
Hold. All right. Let me just get the stream here ready. And let's see who's playing tonight. Doxon. Okay, so we're just finishing the round here.
Yep.
We got the Pooch, we got Steel. Underdog is going strong, Sparty is going strong. And of course there's the dog. Okay, so that's group 1. And the exciting in group 2. Cool. All right. Some interesting contenders in group 2. All right. Didn't miss too much. It's just game 1.
Yep, he only missed round 1.
Nice. All right, I think I'm all set up here.
Nice.
Let's check my voice stream. Great. Do you want me to put on a stream here, or are you just gonna watch the game? I mean, what's essentially be seeing the same thing. You know what? I'll put on a stream here.
Yeah, you put on a stream because I like looking at what you're seeing, and then I'll also mimic the game on my side, and that way I can you know, look at things that I want to look at, and you can look at things that you want to look at. Should be good.
Technology.
Yeah, true.
Alright. Okay. Oh, just gotta wait for a bit. It's fine. I really like what you're doing with those reviews.
Hey, thanks, man.
You're really good.
Did you watch the one I posted today?
Yeah, just now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel bad because I'm just like talking for a long ass time. But you know, I feel like there's so many things that I see early on when players are trying to like understand this game that are just like, I think, wrong, and I try to approach it in like a constructive way, I guess, is what I'm.
I think that's what a community needs right now. It's very difficult to do like fundamental lessons, and I've been thinking about it for weeks. And it's like I just don't know how to organize so that people still watch and not lose interest and actually get something out of it.
Yeah.
But for now, I think it's just talking about each game, pointing out one or maybe two things. Usually, it just comes down to chaff, and not picking the right units. Positioning is not even in play until once you hit like 1500 plus.
Yeah. No, I
Or
completely
timing,
agree.
right? Like timing, items doesn't even come into play until later. Yeah. No, you should package those up. Get the right description. If you need some help with YouTube, just let me know. I've learned quite a lot for the last 2 months.
Yeah, I'll probably need to sit down with you and go over how you get like thumbnails and stuff figured out, because that's just I don't know any of that. I think that would probably drive a lot of traffic and make things look a lot prettier. Also, I probably need to sit down like with like a video editor. I haven't messed around with one since like high school, so.
Well, the good thing about Mechabellum is that the raw footage on its own, for the most part, is good enough.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, video editor, once you start to branch out a little bit, start injecting memes, create brands, that's when you need to do it. But even just with the raw footage, I did a quick like community Q&A or survey, just asking people, what are you looking for? I have people coming to me and said that all they're looking for is just the analysis. Like, they don't care about the memes. I mean, they appreciate it. Sometimes they see it, they crack them up, but they're just here for the game, for the analysis. Be very thorough, right? So that seems to be what the consensus is, or not the consensus, or majority is.
I think it's a valid take.
All right, we'll get a game going. I mean, do you think Sparty and Pooch is gonna have a good game? Sparty's been playing all right these days.
Yeah, Sparty's been doing some cool stuff. We can check that out. Let's load it up.
I better not text him. Usually I message him, like, kick his ass, but he might have performance anxiety.
How's your day going?
It's all right. It's been a busy week here at work.
Not the best.
A little brain dead. Yeah. Mechabellum is kind of like my, like the video part. It's kind of like my outlet. Now that I've done so many of them, it's just kind of in a groove.
No, I totally hear you.
And it's therapeutic sometimes. Sometimes I don't even want to play. I just pull up a video and start talking about it. It's kind of therapeutic.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I felt a couple times recently too. I've asked I've asked like a lost child, like, hey, does anyone want to replay review? And then do the player.
No, just offer it. Just offer it. I think you can really build a brand around that. I don't think anyone's doing specifically that just yet.
Okay, what do we got going?
All right, we got it going. I'm just gonna wait for this, and I'm gonna get going. Ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Hey, Stoney here. I'm here with Clintleetwood, and this is the mini tournament Americas. And at the bottom here, we have Sparty playing as a speed specialist, and he's going up against the Pooch playing as fortified specialist at the top. Looking at the round one positioning and unit selections, what do you think, Clint?
Yeah, so I I'm curious, does Sparty run assault mode marksman? And he certainly does. So we're going to see a very strong aggro push from Sparty here, right? Speed spec allowing these units to really move into that tower as quickly as possible and get some early tower kills and very likely some early rounds. So Apucci's going to be playing on the back foot, but that's not something that's alien to us and alien to him. We've seen him multiple times through, I think, a few different tournaments play a very defensive and very solid, aggro defense. How are you feeling about this currently?
Well, it seems like both sides are equipped for whatever strategy they're going for. I see Electro Mag on the Arclight, which might get picked up in a few rounds to deal with
very strong, yeah.
Assault Marksman. The fans are being positioned nicely. There's not going to be any Assault Marksman this turn, so the first round is going to go to Apucci. I'm very curious to see how this game progresses.
Yeah, and in scenarios like this, right, when you're dealing with like a speed spec draft early on, are you ever trying to guess and coin flip the side that they're going to deploy on, or are you always trying to approach from like a balanced perspective?
I always go for a balanced perspective, and that's probably has caused me to lose more games than it actually won the games. I don't know. I mean, I not risky enough to just guess on one side. What about you, Clint?
So there are some players that I run into that I know will overload one side, so I will play to that end. But generally speaking, right, if I see speed spec, unless I have a very, very strong early draft, and by early draft I mean like sledgehammers or something with another couple of good units, I'm almost always trying to go with like a balanced perspective, unless I want to be the aggro player, right? Unless I get like crawler, sledge, speed spec, and then I'm going. So we have the first unit draft here.
So Fire Badgers will pick up to add a stronger frontline tank, and the Scorpion, traditionally known as a pretty decent counter against Aspen, is being picked up by Apucci. I think they're both very logical unit choices. I think the Fire Badger is going to tank quite a few shots from the Phoenixes, not so much with the Scorpion, and I'm just curious. The Scorpion does splash over to this marksman, right? When he hits the Fire Badger?
Yeah, I was gonna point that out too. I think what's gonna happen is the Scorpion's gonna blow up two Badgers and that poor marksman right behind, unless the Aspen button's clicked and it's not. Oh, okay. Sparty offsets it just a bit. That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's going to have a bit of problem. I think Aspen is not taking it this round, and he does not have the money to do it unless he loans.
Which is a terrible idea, round two.
Which is not a great idea, because now he's going to have a hard time dealing with Chaff. Maybe not. Maybe this level 2 marksman is enough to deal with that Scorpion.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good chunk of damage there. And that might even be another level. Oh no, not even close. I was thinking like with that Scorpion kill that we might have another level on that level 2 marksman, and a level 3 early assault mark is a personal hell of mine. So.
Not bad. I thought Sparty was in trouble without taking assault mode this round, but turns out it's not bad.
Yeah, I think he's got a good read on the game state right now. Improved firepower control being picked up for Sparty. I think that's super smart and super heads up, right? We see 2 levels coming down on the Mustangs, so yeah, I completely agree with this. I think this is incredibly heads up.
And I think improved Wraith being picked up for Apucci. That's interesting, because normally when I see Wraith and Assault Marksman, I just think about Assault Marksman with the aerial spec. Usually it doesn't end well for the Wraith player, but we'll see. I mean, right now there's no need to deploy the Wraith just yet. There's not much of a chat problem that these 2 Arclights can't already handle. Maybe the middle crawler line is a bit strong, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the conventional wisdom of it all is that, in general, Wraith is pretty bad into Assault Marksman. So, I wonder if that's like a bet being hedged, right? It's hard to say though. I think Wraith is probably one of the best positioned units in the current state of the game. So, I can't fault Apucci for saying, "Hey, this card just makes a good unit better." But I'm curious, speaking of really good units in the game, how do you feel about the current state of Fire Badger?
Well, if you see my videos, and especially the one I'm going to be posting in a few hours, you'll know the answer to that. I love Fire Badgers. I think they are one of those, I would call them underused. I think they get picked fairly often, but most people just see Fire Badgers as a chaff cleaner. I have been playing really hard recently to use Fire Badgers as carry units, which means they're good against chaff and they're also good against giants using their ignite technology.
Right.
I love it. It's an unconventional way to play. It can really mess with people's head and they'll be like, okay, you got like 2 squads of Fire Badgers, I got 3 fortresses, who's gonna win? Well, guess what? I love Fire Badgers. I think it just needs to be used appropriately. And at this point, I think they are. I think they're joining the fire and they're getting rid of this chaff. One interesting use I've seen Fire Badgers do on the line is just to take an early napalm. For example, this Fire Badger right here is going to set 1 napalm, 2 napalm, and if they have any chaff in front, like 3 little circles, and that's going to kill entire squads of chaff, right?
Yep. Well, it lasts for 20 seconds too, right? It's just, it's a hose. It's a hose. Sorry, I cut you off, but go ahead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's going to get one-shotted by the Scorpion. The damage is done. All this chaff, napalm lasts 10 seconds, which means that's all the time this chaff needs to walk through the fire and die. So, yeah, that's a very cheeky move for those of you that like to put Fire Badgers on the line here.
So it looks like Sparty is taking advantage of his early tempo gains and going for a tungsten rod or an orbital javelin, whatever it's called. I think it used to be called tungsten rod. Maybe I'm making that up. But we do see the improved rate now coming down on the side with the level 3 marksman with heavy armor. So that's technically a level 2 wraith in terms of HP here. We'll see if that makes a difference, but I think what's going to happen, right, is these Fire Badgers are going to clear the ground, and this marksman's going to turn to the left and, put 4 or 5 shots in that thing and die, and it's just going to fall over. It's going to pop. Yeah. There it goes.
Yeah. And most of the improved units tend to have a bit more boost to the HP and attack, but with the improved rate, it's only 10%. I think what's really helping with the improved rate is the range. The 5 range, it might not seem as significant, but for a raid that only has 55 starting range, that's 10% of their range, right? And it's at a very small cost. 50 on a 300 resource unit, that's a very small cost.
Yeah.
So small improvement for the improved rate, but needed. Another thing to note is for the Assault Marksman, right? This is one of those units that new players don't understand. Like, when you have Assault, right now they're not Assault, but they're positioned in a way that they could be Assault. I was talking to Eric the other day, and he mentioned, because I don't know how to play Assault Marksman myself, but every time I play them, I just use them as a meme unit. I start dropping them everywhere on the flanks, I take deployment spec. But Eric said the way you see Assault Marksman is just think of them as mini fortresses. They can go and tank, they can go and do the damage,
right.
And whatever units that you build around fortresses, you can build those same units around Assault Marksman.
I think
that made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that's a super valid take on it, right? Another way to maybe think about it too is like a super arclight. I mean, they have similar splash, similar attack rates, and the only major difference, right, is that I think in general Assault Marksman scale much harder than Arclights, especially after the charge shot nerf. But a couple things happened here, right? We saw range get picked up for the Wraiths and absorption module by both players. This is something that I think a lot of players are sleeping on. I think this item is so good. For example, like on this melting point in the back left, it's basically a free energy absorption tech. And you know, it's only 100 credits as opposed to the 300 or whatever the normal tech is. And I mean, that really adds up very quickly. And it looks like Apuchi's rushing the right side. Barely innings left on the left as well. Yeah, this looks really good for Apuchi, wrestling back some tempo.
But this melting point might get a level though.
And that's where it gets spooky. And it does.
Yeah, I think they might get a level. I think as long as these fans don't get in the way too much, that melting point is going to destroy everything here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that thing go. It's like, yoink. I'm gonna suck your blood. Yoink. And there we go. Yeah, and that's a level 2 melting point. Very nice. Sparty's doing great so far. Maintaining his tempo. I mean, right now he's probably pivoting out. I don't think he's gonna go assault marksman, to be honest with you. Balls are pretty good for Apuchi.
Yeah, I think
Fortresses for Sparty makes sense. So balls for Apuchi, fortress for Sparty. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say, I think the thing that I wanted to mention earlier is that I feel like Apuchi has to just respect the potentiality of assault marksman, right? If you look at the unit comp here, it looks like a board that is set up to deal with assault marksman, but we don't have any assault marksman yet. So Sparty is always threatening to press that button, but which is forcing Apuchi to play in a very specific way. And yeah, we're just seeing some really solid forward aggro positioned marksman, something that's pretty atypical. Usually you want these units pretty far back, kind of nestled in between your towers and doing work from afar.
I'm so curious why Sparty is not paying more attention to this side, or at the very least start upgrading towers. Maybe he's just waiting for that turn, because right now this side is still going to get overtaken. Hopefully he's able to defend or at least clear out most of his units on this side, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult because of the steel balls. Right now there's no units that can deal enough damage to the steel balls before it latches onto the fortress and destroys it. And once the fortress is gone, the Wraith will take care of the rest of the Mustang. So it's not looking too good from the middle to the right side of the board.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, right, as long as we can clear out all the chaff, and it looks like basically that's the case for the right side, you know, we can let that melting point do the work, unless these balls get on it, and then it's gonna look real bad. But yeah, it looks like this looks really good for Apuchi.
It's gonna get tower before. Oh, almost
towers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very strong round for Apuchi here. Both tower being debuff is just not a good time. Alright, we're looking at cars. Range spec is pretty useless. Everybody's on the line. Barriers pretty useful for giants. Deployment, situational, and mass ledges is kind of useless unless you are trying to get cheap chaff, which we don't really need.
Yeah. And the other reality, right, is that even if we throw up a bunch of chaff, these wraiths are going to be a real problem. It'll clear out very efficiently. Won't ever get stuck on anything. But we see replicate coming out. Whoa. Interesting. I don't know if maybe Sparty knows something here that I don't, but I don't think replicate does a whole lot here. What do you think?
Not when they're running into this wraith, though.
Yeah.
Nah.
But we see barrier being picked up for Sparty here and being thrown on a melting point. I think the intention is to get rid of that absorption module wraith in the center. And I think that's a good idea, right? That unit, I think wraiths, once they hit level 2, and if they have any sort of like sustain, via nano repair kit or absorption module, it almost requires a melter in response at all points, or a very high level phoenix. Anything else, it's a very painful waiting game.
Yeah, I don't agree with this melting point right here in the center. I mean, I get it, right? It needs something to clear out the wraith right here. But the melting point is very expensive. It is getting targeted here very soon by these steel balls. And it's not really getting rid of this wraith fast enough before it completely destroys your entire front line. So I was kind of leaning towards, hit the aerial spec and just put 2 more marksmen. You have more damage, you have a bit more spread out units, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's a world, right, with these ranged balls coming in, that we want something like assault mode and range, or assault mode and AA, and that way we're not hard committing to this another 400 cost unit, and we're investing in units that already have levels on the board, right? There could be a point, right, where this back left melting point, that's I think now level 3. Yeah, level 3. We might want to just see like that range itself, but I kind of agree with you. I think this melter in the middle might be a little misplaced. But we're going for multiple melters this round. Okay.
Nothing wrong with multiple melters in the later rounds. I just felt like there was a missed opportunity. You got a level 3 marksman here. You got a level 3 marksman here. The moment you hit this button, this wraith is going to die super fast. This wraith is probably going to die very fast too. But most importantly, I want this wraith to die, because with that wraith dead, the only chaff clear or viable chaff clear on this side is just this arc light, and that's going to hold up this entire side for a lot longer. And if you can hold up this side, you're not going to get tower, and maybe you can even win on this side. Well, that's the logic anyways. It's just a more efficient way of getting rid of the wraith. But now with even more melting points on the board, I get it. It's now a full-on transition into melting point. Sparta even sold this level 3 marksman here.
And if you look at the back, a very heads-up play by Apucci. He grabs speed and gets those balls out of harm's way from the orbital javelin that was aimed right at them. Another big thing here is that Apucci has clicked both replicate, matching Sparty's replicate, but also has clicked impact drill.
Ouch.
This is deeply favored for Apucci now. Sparty is now on the back foot, and Apucci is completely wrestled all tempo back, and this might be GG right here. I honestly, it's a lot of damage coming in. Okay, 492. It's close, but it's not looking good for Sparty. Sparty has to come up with some real strong answers this turn, or it's over.
My God, that was such a huge round for him. Not only he added the chaff right here, which pulled these 2 guys right all the way to the corner, leaving the front completely defenseless. He's got double tech on the crawlers, winning this fight right here, winning this fight right here, and he dodged the missile with the steel balls. So now, there's a lot of decisions to be made for Sparty. And I guess it goes for the one-size-fits-all solution. Multi-beam, we've seen this from last week's tournament. It worked really well against a wraith ball push. But I wonder, with so much chaff left over, I wonder if these multi-beam melters are going to get the job done. My primary concern is this set of steel balls right here. This one, which has been repositioned further up, I think this is okay, but last round I saw these steel balls completely demolishing this melting point right here before you even had a chance to react. This round, with no missile coming down to these crawlers, everything is still going to get pulled over, which means there's not going to be any crawlers standing in front of the this melting point here. So let's see if that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen multi-melters do quite a bit of work recently. I think it was the Illuminati versus Fated to Fail game, right? Where Illuminati spammed out a bunch of multi-beam melters, and it was a real big hose. So we'll have to see what's going on here. But I think the thing that's going to be the nail in the coffin here for Sparty is that Impact Drill is not matched, and I think that just means Sparty loses.
Yeah.
Loses the chaff war.
However,
Oh.
all the steel balls are gone.
Interesting.
And we still got a level 3 melting point with absorption module.
Does that just not die?
Mm.
Oh my god. The face of balance, everybody, right here.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It's still going.
It's still going. Now level 4.
Yeah, I mean, what can
Nuke.
you do? Nuke?
Nuke and Electromag. Electromag probably a lot better. Disabling these 2 melting point, allowing the balls coming a lot faster.
Yeah, but if you're Sparty, you shield this, right? There's no way.
Yeah, you're gonna want to shield this, and you're gonna want to missile this because last turn this melting point died before he was able to take down all the steel balls.
Oh wow.
There's gonna be oil. There's gonna be nuke.
I mean,
Where's the shield, Sparty? There's gonna be the match.
Yep, Impact Drill matches.
And Sparty
Where's
has
the
1 extra power upgrade. No armor though. No, yes armor. Level 1. And here's the shield. Where's the missile, Sparty? These guys are putting your stuff away for way longer than they should.
There's a real shot Sparty pulls this out. This nuke is going to do so much work. This oil is going to make all of these units just sit.
Everybody
Sit.
right here.
Yeah, right in it.
Yeah.
But another big tech coming out from this round is what is it? I call it 8-gun, but I want to make sure. Yeah. Floating artillery array on the Wraith. This it sounds like it just doubles the DPS, but it feels like it quadruples. Don't you agree? It feels like it does a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's especially for a unit like Wraith, where it's not restricted to target a single unit. Having 8 guns provides so much more flexibility. Nice, Sparty got the missile. Thank you. Very good.
Here comes the nuke.
Ooh. Here comes the nuke, and there's all the units here.
Yeah.
And this raid
looks
boss of a
really
melting
good.
point is still here. It's still here. Oh boy. Now that's spicy. That's really spicy.
It.
That's it. Pooch is out of the game.
Sparty gets around. Let's go.
Way to go, Sparty.
That was very well played. Very heads up. The final screen on my end is Sparty at 626 MMR and Apucci at 2069. That is a huge upset.
Yeah, a huge upset. Way to go, Sparty. Showing us the power of multi-beam melting point. We don't see this play very often. I mean, we saw it with the Illuminati, but in our daily ladder, I don't think I've ever seen it in my daily ladder. I think common wisdom just dictates that if you have multi-beam, you lose to a melter-to-melter mirror match. That's why nobody's using it. But as you can see here, it can be extremely effective.
Very cool stuff.
Great stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed this game, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.
Dude, that was a banger of a game. That was a banger of a game.
That was excellent.
Oh, that's great.
He played the last round extremely well. The final round, he did everything he needed to do, cover all his bases, get the missile down here. Yeah, it was. He actually leveled up the defense as well to make sure that the crawlers would survive, right?
Yeah. Yep. Right on time as well. With Impact Drill, I was a little worried that he wasn't gonna be able to live long enough, but he certainly got there. Thank goodness
Yeah,
for
for
that.
sure. Yeah, good stuff.
So the two O's right now are Underdog and Dachshund. We got the dog. It's a dog eat dog world.
Mm-hmm.
And Sparty and Odyssey. What do we want to load up here?
Yeah, let's hop into the dogfight.
The dog fight.
Let's do the dogfight. Multi-beam. Maybe I should start running multi-beam on my tech. These games are spectacular.
That was a good game. Yeah, I don't like melters. I don't run them.
You don't like melters? As in you don't like to play against them, or you just don't like to use them?
Both. Yeah, column A and column B. I don't know. I every time I use them, I'm like, wow, this is so fun. And then I think it's like I want my giant mech shooting guns, not charging up lasers.
No lasers.
Yeah.
No lasers.
But I understand that's a minority opinion in this community, apparently.
All right, be right back. Let me grab a beer.
Yep, sounds good. Hope you're back as well.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go. Hey, Stoney here. I'm joined by Clintleetwood, and this is the mini tournament Americas. At the bottom here, we have Underdog playing as an aerial specialist, and he's up against another dog, Dachshund, the weekend champion from the, I believe it's the European, the European tournament. He's playing as a marksman specialist. And right out of the gate, we see the classic aggro, the split Phoenix Crawler aggro formation up against Stonecrawlers, Crawlers, and of course level 3 marksmen. How do you feel about this? Okay.
I am liking Dachshund's setup. I've been seeing him do this a lot recently with Stormcrawlers. He puts them right in front of the tower, has some chaff right behind that, and a couple arc lights, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Mizim versus Dachshund game that we casted that we had an absolute blast watching. It's a really standard setup, and I think it's really well equipped to deal with what we're currently seeing, right?
Sure.
How do you feel about it? Is there anything that you think we're going to be seeing here from either player?
Well, right now it's all about speed for Underdog. If you can get the speed going, if you can get past these terrible volleys that just kills everything, I think he's in a good spot. With Dachshund, I think there may be a time, depends on how the game is going, he might consider want to start to sell at the Stormcrawlers, simply because everything is now within their minimum range. But we're not there yet, so we'll have to see. In the future rounds, I do predict a few more archives coming down from Dachshund, and for the Underdog, well, he's aerial. I think Wasp is not a terrible option here.
Oh, but something huge just happened, which is the level 3 marksman from the marksman spec dies, and that allows this Phoenix to get a level. It changes a lot of the dynamics here. It changes a lot of dynamics here from the rounds moving forward, but I think with the aerial spec, right, we're probably going to be seeing, like you mentioned, Wasp, but I imagine also Wraiths. And for example, right, we see this improved Wraith card, which is going to make the unlock cost, we could buy 2 of these, right, and we'd basically pay for the unlock cost, which is now currently 0. But we see a skip from both players, and I think that's fine. Let's see.
So additional arc lights for the defender. This is very normal, very logical, right? Arc lights are excellent against the chav. However, there's nothing that shoots up at the corners, which means once the crawlers are defended, these phoenixes are going to do a bit of work. The orange man looks a little exposed, but the middle draw is going to pull these crawlers away. I wonder if there's a little sneaky gap somewhere. For example, putting crawlers right here as this arc light is busy walking towards the center, having the crawler right here just to run beelining towards the storm crawlers.
Yeah, here's the difficult part for the marksman specialist here. If you don't match where these phoenixes are, right, you run into this issue where we might run into a bad tower timing, and that bad tower timing will get the orange man killed. And you know,
and being the only thing that shoots up,
yeah,
we really need that orange man.
We do. And you know, without that, and if when that orange man does that, he gives out a ton of experience, right? And if that experience goes to the crawlers, for example, suddenly you have to deal with level 2 crawlers, and the level 2 crawlers generally trade very favorably into arc lights, and there becomes a number of problems that can arise from that. Early levels is the advantage of picking marksman specialist, and you know, giving up those in the early rounds can really swing the tempo in your opponent's favor.
Oh, for sure. And the unfortunate tower capture did not happen, so Doxon is going to get this round.
Yeah.
But eventually he'll need to answer these phoenixes, because whenever I play assault marksman, or not assault marksman spec, and my opponent goes phoenixes, I always over rely on the single marksman. And that will cause me to lose rounds. So, and here's the insurance policy in the form of a squad of Mustangs. Just one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just trying to get rid of these level 2 phoenixes. And I think Doxon's defense now, actually two squads of Mustangs. I think the defense now is pretty solid.
Yeah, yeah, we got 2 Mustangs, and I can't remember who was saying this, but I was watching a stream recently, and the concept is that Arclights trade pretty well into crawlers, and Mustangs trade pretty well into Fangs. And the intent here, right, is that we want to nurse the Mustangs up to a spot where they are able to handle crawlers on their own. So we have the Mustangs kind of positioned right behind the crawlers, and you know, we kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone here. Well, one, we are getting experience by killing those crawlers, but also we're getting the experience from potentially killing the birds once the arc lights clear the way for the Mustangs. So yeah, some good stuff here. Very solid setups, really basic standard bread and butter here, it feels like.
I'll challenge you on the Mustang crawler dynamic. I think if you said this about a month ago, I totally agree with you. But the crawler did get a health nerf, which means now Mustangs can actually trade okay versus a level 1 crawler. About a month ago, I think a pack of Mustang was just about to kill a no, actually they were barely able to kill a pack of crawlers. But considering that the cost of Mustang is twice of that of a crawler, is not very efficient. But nowadays, I think Mustangs do okay on the same level against a crawler.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. The nerf was a thing that did happen. I don't know how significant it feels, or it has like impacted the meta, because man, crawlers still run me over.
Yeah. Well, it changed a few breakpoints. For example, if you're heavy armor and if you're taking tower upgrade on the armor on a crawler, you're about 4 damage short of being 2-shotted for Arclight. So Arclight will still one-shot you, but just barely one-shotting you. So that's a bit upsetting, because I used to love to go heavy armor spec and just take early +1 defense and just overwhelm my opponent with crawlers for a couple rounds. I can't do that anymore. And I think it also changes the dynamic for Cost supply, maybe. No, actually, never mind. Cost supply, I always get one-shotted by arc lights anywhere. Anyways, but what I was thinking is like cost control arc light versus regular crawlers.
Yeah, that requires two shots. That requires 2 shots.
Yeah. All right, so we got Phoenixes from the unit drop up against Steel Balls from the unit drop, and I'm pretty sure the Steel Balls have a very big advantage here. Not Phoenixes, I mean Typhoons.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't feel like Underdog's board is working for him. I think the Arclight wall here with the Stormcallers is very strong. For any stragglers, the Mustangs are more than capable of taking care of them.
Absolutely.
The Steel Balls is just sort of a nail in the coffin for any larger units that they might send his way. There's a little cute flank that's going on here, being completely shut down.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to point that out actually. If you look at Dox's positioning, it was kind of brilliant, right? He has, at least when I'm positioning my like back rank crawlers in that back left and back right positioning, I'm oftentimes like putting him nice and snug in the corner. But hey, that Phoenix gets and snipes a little tower here. That's a really sick timing. But sorry, I got a little distracted by that. Where I was going with that is that he left a little pocket for a Rhino. He left a little 2x2 square and allows the Rhino to be there to answer a potential flank. And I think Rhino's answering flanks is incredibly strong. But yeah, Underdog manages to wrestle around back.
Yeah, that last tower was so good for Underdog. Just getting everything here under tower debuff.
Group firepower control comes up. Both players grab it.
Control, yeah. Lots of Mustangs could benefit from this. Typhoon could benefit from this. Oil user for the dog to really just to stop something, I think. Maybe just put it right here, stopping it. Mostly the Typhoons from getting too close to the tower. And remember, Doxon kept the Stormcaller, so anything that's stuck in the oil is going to take at least 1 extra shot from the Stormcallers. And that's a lot of great value.
Absolutely. Also, something I've been seeing Doxon do quite a bit of is to kind of like give these Stormcallers a good focal point. He'll put vertical fangs in front of them and also in front of that, like on the line of scrimmage. So essentially, right, what that's going to do is that's going to pull everything in front of on that left side flank, on that high aggro flank, into those fangs, into that oil. They're all going to be grouped up, and those Stormcallers are just going to wreak havoc. And yeah, cool stuff. Ooh, and then a flank on the right from Underdog. Okay.
I'm not feeling too hot about these flanks, aside from just delaying the units a little bit, because they're not really achieving that much, right? And he still hasn't directly answered the Steel Ball threat. I mean, last round he got really lucky with the tower timing, but I don't think Typhoon is the best unit against Steel Balls.
Yeah, I think in most cases it isn't either, but I think it's important to note that these Steel Balls don't have armor. So there's never going to be a time when the Typhoon's damage is completely shut down. The Typhoons will still have the potentiality to do a lot of damage and out DPS what's coming in front of them, but we do trade towers here.
I'm just going to get this tower.
Okay. I was a little worried Orange Man's about to go down there again.
Yeah.
But a really strong crack from Underdog. Or, sorry, from Doxon onto Underdog.
So what would you think would be a way out for Underdog here? I mean, he's got a board that I don't think is very optimized against whatever Doxon is throwing at him. He has a few problems, right? So first, he's got the ball problem. Right now, there's really only 2 things. Right? Got the 2 Phoenixes that are decent against balls. That's about it. He's got a potential Mustang problem that's growing because they're going to get fat and they're doing a lot of damage. And then, of course, there's that positioning, right? With Underdog, he needs to go really fast. He needs to get there, get tower, or at least one of the tower.
And then do as much damage as possible when that tower's down.
And
right?
do as much damage as them, yeah. But he doesn't have fast units. Right now, yes, you got the crawlers, but your main damage dealers in the form of these typhoons, they aren't really fast. They're gonna get stuck in the oil forever. They're waiting for things to come to them. Everything except the balls outranges the typhoon on the docks inside, right? So it's kind of a tricky situation. He wants to go aggressive, but his units is kind of slowing them down.
Yeah, I think what I am sort of thinking about in my head here, if I'm underdog, is I want like artillery on my boats, and then I want like charge shot on my phoenixes, and instead of like barrier on my typhoons. I kind of understand the thinking here, right? Thinking is that we want to buy some time against the stormcallers. I wanted mech rage. I want to get in and I want to hurt Doxy, you know what I mean? I think like Degen Beam here is also incredibly powerful, but that's like we're getting to the point where it's like a wish list, right? But I think what I would want to see here, like first and foremost, is probably something like you know, the artillery for the Overlord, and doing a lot of damage with that.
I think Mech Rage on Typhoon is an excellent idea, and I want to add one more unit to the list.
Let's hear it.
Stormcallers.
Yeah.
As an aggro player, the defending player's unit almost never move, right? So yes, your units are dodging missiles, but your opponent's unit never even gets the chance to dodge missiles. So having Stormcallers and just shelling from that distance, being so close to the tower, is going to do you more good than it does to your opponent.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But not to make a little pun here, but I think the real underdog of this this last round were these hacker pickups from Underdog. So, in general, steel balls kind of get owned by hackers. What ends up happening, right, is that one hacker steals one steel ball, the 3 steel balls turn to that one, the hacker starts hacking another one, and as that steel ball is ramping up on that other steel ball, it's now dying, the hacker's now taking that other ball, and they basically get stuck in a spot. So I think that's a really heads-up play, but we're seeing 3 fortresses with barrier and launcher overload and a war factory. Whoa!
Is he gonna click this button?
Wait, what button? Oh, the launcher overload. I think
Launcher
that would be
overload?
sick. Yeah, I think that would be sick. I think temp speed is an absolute must here if I'm underdog.
I wouldn't mind start leveling up those hackers. I feel like once you get the shield down, the hackers can go do a lot of damage on these level 1 fortresses.
Yeah, I completely agree. I played a game against Fury, Hacker Man himself, and I thought fortresses were a great call with, you know, barrier, and it's a perfect answer to what a hacker's doing. No, my fortresses all got taken from me, and they started killing me. And in his words, fortresses are just targets, so you have to be very careful in this matchup, I think. There's a very strong reality where it could be a trap, because I think especially here, right, is that the hackers significantly outrange these fortresses. Yeah, 150 to 95. So once this chaff goes down, it's going to get real ugly. Let's hope it doesn't.
Alright, so let's see how this action pans out. 1 fortress is already getting locked on.
Oh!
Yeah, and this is a fairly healthy fortress too.
Oh no!
Now looking at this side, Steel Ball is unable to get a lock onto the War Factory, which means the War Factory is able to clear everything here. And now it's up to these 2 hackers to essentially take over this entire army that's been stuck in the oil here. And somewhere in between, there's the tower capture.
Yeah, there it is, right there. Oh,
One
and
ball.
see the steel ball gets taken, and now everyone's gonna sit there and look at that steel ball. Oh, but there's still some chaff left, and that's...
Yep, still chaff left. Ooh, good final ball with the dying breath getting over that War Factory. Alright, so we got deployment spec. I really wish Underdog would take the deployment spec and drop down 4 packs of Stormcallers right here. It helps with the shield break, It helps with everything else that's gonna come his way. Now remember, no more oil on this round, which means the other half of Doxson's army is gonna arrive that much sooner.
Mm-hmm. Now, are these Doxson's missiles?
These are Doxson's missiles. There are 2 of them each.
He's trying to shield break.
Typhoons. Yeah. 10,000. Did Doxson take a shield spec? Yes. So it's gonna shield break all these. Well, not all these. The level ones.
Oh, unless... the smoke bomb is so good.
Yeah.
So I think what's gonna happen, right, is what I imagine is gonna happen, because we have a level 2 and a level 4 Typhoon here on the left side, is that this level 2 will have the shield remaining, and the level 4 will have the shield remaining, but this level 1's gonna lose it. And that little pocket of smoke, this War Factory's gonna roll right through. So it's gonna be a real problem. But like you mentioned, launcher overload is clicked, and so is range on the War Factory. This is going to become very hard for Doxson to win, I think.
Well, not if the smoke lands. And I think it will land. He does have missile specialist, which means his missiles are doing 15,000 damage per missile. Right? That's all, except for level 3. And these 2 War Factors are walking right into the smoke. And guess what? There's sneaky steel balls in between, and this one's already locked onto the War Factory. And that one is locking onto the War Factory. Oh no. Oh no, this is a disaster for the underdog here. We got 1 remaining War Factory that is taking on the world here. Everything of Doxson's still alive.
Oh no, what a sick shield break. Not a tactic you see often, but always such a pleasure. And I'm pretty sure that's game, man.
Yeah, I think that's game. Wow.
Heads up play from Doxson, that's all I can say, man. Such an inspiring player to watch.
What a killing blow here. A 1-2 punch wombo combo that could only work if you had the shield break. And he was able to commit. A lot of time the players look at this and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to spend 400 resource on missiles. But no, if the 400 resource is going to win you the game, you spent that money, baby. All right, it looks like we had another great game. I hope you enjoyed this game. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.
That also was a good game.
Very smart use of devices. This is what I love about Mechabellum. Like, it never gets old.
Yep. Missile device spec getting picked up. Such a heads up play. Knowing that he can crack him like that, it's just...
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those knowledge check moments, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Sparty lost to Odyssey.
I saw that as well, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It didn't look close, either. So, it looks like Odyssey Doxson, last round?
Yeah, last round here.
You got Dillo, Amarok. Nice. On the spectator list.
I think we should, there should be a tutorial on just devices. Because right now everybody's saying, yeah, if you're a new player, don't use devices, or try not to use devices. But the devices can be really good. Like, as a cost control, like when I play cost control, I always try to get a shield bubble out within like the first 3 turns. I just feel like it gives you a lot of tempo, especially if you're up against things like sledgehammers or arclights, or even marksmen. Getting a shield up is going to delay things so much.
Yeah, and God forbid you see like energy shield spec, right? Or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about? The one that buffs the bubbles, yeah.
Yeah, the bubble card.
Yep. It almost basically forces the opponent to make Stormcallers, and if you know that, right, you can just slap down an AMS and just hose them, right? And then like you're efficiently using that extra 100 credits you're placing the same amount of plastic as the other person, yeah, it gets very hard to deal with very fast. Ever since you mentioned that, I've been doing a little bit of my games as cost control like that, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
I feel like high-level players don't play cost control properly. I remember when I was like 1300, I had some excellent games against cost controls where they drop missiles, you know, for rounds and after rounds, and just keep up that pressure. I just have no answers to it. At the high level, everybody just want to set up a really nice board. Nobody wants to play dirty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I miss that.
It's the standard Andes, you know?
Yeah. Boring.
Boring. I agree.
Okay, what are you gonna pick, Doc? Quick supply, 4 sledges. Nah.
No, that's not Doc's style.
Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum, and joining me we have Clintleetwood, and this is the Midweek Tournament in America. At the bottom here we have the weekend champion Dachshund. He's playing as a supply specialist, and he's up against Odyssey playing as a Rhino specialist. Right off the bat we have Sledgehammers crawlers versus Arclight crawlers and Phoenixes. Now I wonder what sort of anti-air is Odyssey going to pick? Now, what do you think, Clint? Is it going to be marksman? It's going to be marksman.
Yeah, I think there's merit to both marksman and bangs here. Right, bangs you can delay behind the tower, and they have the added benefit of also being like delayed chaff later in the game. But typically when I'm playing this sort of setup, I also like marksman. When I'm going into Arclight, Phoenix, the main reason, right, is that sledges aren't the most efficient at killing Arclights on round 1, but marksman 2-shot them, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, I think this is like a pretty standard board for round 1. Both players go crawlers because it's the best chaff in the game at the moment, and yeah, if I had to give you a guess about who's going to win this first round, I think it goes to the Phoenix player. I think there's just a little too much DPS, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, it depends on how long the tanks stay alive, right?
Yeah. Looks like the right side's gonna win. And then this marksman dies.
Gets the tower, yeah. Phoenix comes. Yeah, this happens so many times and I hate it every single time.
But still, against a Phoenix player, right, you have this merit of either electing to take 400 damage early on and develop a better board, or just try to deal with it. And, you know, at the end of the day, right, only losing 200 HP round 1, pretty decent. But my favorite card is in this pack, and that's ER Sledge. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, but I love the card.
Come on, Odyssey, click the button.
Click it. We want you to click it.
Click it. Click it. Forget about Rhino Assault, which might actually do more damage. Just click it.
Oh, he does click it!
Yeah, and 2 more sledges. This is gonna be a excellent sledge line here.
Oh man, I've been playing around with sledgehammers so much recently. I think they are so good at the moment. Sledgehammer carry is so back. But we see Dachshund click range on Arclights. Do you think that's early? Round 2?
Is okay, I think, for this round. He probably saw the extended range sledgehammer and he was under the impression that that's exactly what's going to happen.
Interesting.
Whose missile is this? This is Dachshund's missile. Yeah, it's going to get the sledgehammer. It's going to get a couple crawlers. And he might actually get this. We'll see. I mean, yeah, probably not get this round, but he is setting up for it. So when you take extended range sledgehammer, one thing you just got to be very careful about is that before you take that card, your sledgehammer is your primary meat shield. With that card, that's a 30% reduction in its HP. It's no longer a meat shield. You really have to babysit it.
Yeah.
Which means you need to start putting fans. You might even start putting other units in front of it.
Yeah.
If you use them as a meat shield, they won't get level. If they won't get level, you're not getting the most out of ER sledgehammers.
Yeah, without levels, they are not very good, to put it lightly. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a strong read from Doxson.
It is. And because of the 30% reduction, now Arclights can actually contest the sledgehammers at the same level. So a very good read for Doxson.
And in this case, right, the Arclights get the levels, and our Sledgehammer hero over here doesn't. So
That's right.
Not an inspiring or good thing to see round 3, I would say. But we get our first unit pack here. What's sticking out to you, Stoney?
Wasp is always good. Wasp can really shake the board up a little bit, considering now both sides don't have a lot of anti-air. So it looks like there's going to be Wasp coming from Odyssey, and it's going to be a level 3 Rhino coming from Doxson. I wonder if it's going to sell this Rhino or just kind of keep it around. There is a lot of damage. Also, these 2 marksmen are leveled, so I don't know if this Rhino is going to do too much.
Yeah, I think there's like some merit, right, in like setting up an early flank with this and just trying to eke out one round and then selling it next round. You could also like put it like heavily positioned on one right or left corner here to walk into the tower. But yeah, it looks like what Doxson's idea here is to use this level 3 Rhino as a delayed tank, which is, I think, just fine as well. I think in the long term, though, what we will see is that Rhino does get sold. Maybe not this round, but certainly the next one or the round after that.
Now, I am a little upset that they didn't take range on sledgehammers. Right now, these sledgehammers are at the risk of being outscaled by the Arclights. These 3 Arclights on the left here, they're gonna live for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
And they hit hard too, especially against sledgehammers with 30% less health. Right now, sledgehammers are $27.99. Arclight at level 2, that's $780. So that's 4 shots. That's 4 seconds of damage coming from the Arclight.
Yeah. And the other big thing here, right, is that the splash from the Arclights matters a lot more on the sledgies than the splash from the sledgies onto the Arclights. So it can swing pretty heavily into the Arclight's favor, but those Wasps really come in and kind of clutch things up here, it looks like. But we have a level 3 Rhino to deal with. Oh gosh.
You were right, Clint, and this Rhino is getting a lot of value at this round. Missile device from Doxson again, just in case, right? If you need a shield break.
Yeah, I think the other reality is that we know Rhino spec is coming down here. While a level 2 Rhino isn't nearly as scary as a level 3 Rhino, you know, a missile device here in this case for Doxson is going to do 10,000 damage. That's a fourth of the Rhino's health pool, but it doesn't matter because it is now sold.
We got a fortress coming down to deal specifically with this level 3 Rhino with steel wool protection. Still no tech coming from the tanks just yet. We got 200 left over, which is not enough for any meaningful carrying techs, but I really would love to see one of these 2 show up. I would prefer range, simply just allow the tanks to live a little bit longer away from these Arclights. But right now, these tanks really need the experience. Is getting outscaled pretty hard. Yeah. We already have 4 level 2 Arclights on the board.
Yeah, and some of these Arclights are almost halfway to level 3, and at that point, right, you just kind of have to abandon the sledge dream. But let's see how this shakes down. I think Fortress is pretty well positioned into this board state. How do you feel about it?
I think the Fortress there is an answer to the Rhino. The additional marksman is nice, except you're up against ranged Arclights, so this one right in the middle gets taken out immediately. The Mustangs is a nice touch. A lot of times people think of Mustangs as chaff clear, but in reality, they can be both chaff clear and chaff themselves. And as you can see here right now, they're actually tanking a lot of these tank shots and also marksman shots. But it looks like the side with the steel ball production is a little too strong.
Yeah, I feel like these production techs are like maybe a little too pushed. I just think the longer the round goes, right? And they used to not be as good as they are now, and that's mainly because since the release Free for All, we've now seen a cap on unit production tech. So crawler production, fangs spawning, and then all the war factory techs, right? Those only produce so many units over a certain amount of time. That steel ball production, as long as the round's going, we're making steel balls, baby. And yeah, it can scale out of control, especially as more units leave the board. Things can get a little brutal for sure. So another unit pack comes. We see the level 3 Wraith from Dachshund here, and Elite Marksman on Arclights. Cool. And then it looks like a level 3 Typhoon from Odyssey. Okay. How do you feel about those pickups?
I think I get the Wraith coming here. I'm not entirely sure about the Typhoons. I guess there is a bit of a chat problem. I was fully expecting them to sell the Typhoons and just take Mech Rage instead. Right now, again, well, hold on. I'm looking at Odyssey side. He's only got 100 supply. I think Mech Rage would generally help the board a little bit better than Typhoons. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, level 3 Typhoon is a very good unit. They're extremely tanky, 34,000 health. But I think at this point, with 4 squads of sledgehammers, 2 of them going level 2 and not having any tech and simply just getting shelled on, it's a bit of a waste.
Yeah. I think the Wraith is super heads up as well, only because I'm pretty sure Dachshund had a read on Odyssey that he wanted to click AA. And Dachshund has 4 sets of Phoenixes, and that's a lot of damage to lose on the board to a couple volleys of AA. So this Wraith is basically just a tank to hold the fort down, so to speak. But the left side looks like it clears pretty well. The tower does go down, but we might get a really good tower timing right back here. This Typhoon's going to be a problem.
Here's the A left.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like in general, Typhoons are pretty well positioned into Arclights, only because of the barrier tech. I think if you can delay damage on those Arclights, it becomes very hard for the Arclights to do like their job, which is if they're sitting back collecting levels to do a lot of damage. But laser sights being picked up for Odyssey and laser sights being picked up for Dachshund, yeah, I mean, pretty standard stuff, right? You can't really skip that item, especially in these kind of like standard v standard board states. When you're kind of playing behind your tower or around your tower, you definitely need the range. Range is king in this game. If you're Odyssey, where are you putting that laser sight?
I mean, right now with the Typhoon play, that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
But I am still firmly believe that the Typhoon could be sold in favor of just more tanks, more levels, and get techs on them. These tanks, with range, with mech rage, they're going to be your backline. Your fortresses, they're going to walk up, they're going to tank everything, and your tanks are just going to kill everything in the backline. I've seen it. You played it a couple days ago, Clint.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful setup, and I just don't understand what's the hesitation with the sledgehammers.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if Odyssey feels like he's already been outscaled, and he doesn't want to, I don't know, commit too hard to an idea, even though it's a very fun one.
No, I think it's the correct idea, because he's only being outscaled because the tanks kept dying before the Arclights.
Sure.
with fortresses in play and with range, your tanks will be the last thing that die,
That's
which means
true.
they're stoking all the experience. So you can get that skill back very quickly. It's just right now with no tech and no range, tanks are still being killed off by Arclight, which is a bad. It's just a bad thing. Like this is not how you're supposed to play extended range sledgehammers.
Yeah, but I mean, this is looking so good for Odyssey, and this is kind of the problem that Arclights start to run into if you're playing with a carry tech is, look how long it takes for these Arclights on the right side, even backed up by Stormcallers, right, to kill or even hurt this this fortress, this blue fort over here. It just 8 shots for half the round and was at half HP.
Oh, sure.
And this is, sort of one of those things that that you would feel sometimes even playing with Power Shot before its pre-nerf. But I would say you feel it even more so now. Like, Doxson does not run Power Shot. He runs Elite Marksman and Range. So this is essentially the highest scaling that we can get on these Arclights. Outside of levels, right? But, yeah.
Power Shot got nerfed pretty hard though, right? Like the additional 30% reduction in firing rate, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
In the past, it was just a pure 3x damage, but now it's 3x at the cost of speed reduction. So you're really getting about what, 1x damage?
If I remember correctly, it was the original tech was 2x damage, but the nerf version is 3x with a firing rate reduction. And I think the math breaks out to the DPS still being roughly the same. But what this really translates to is that shielded fangs are a lot stronger against it, right? Chaff is a lot stronger against it, and if a fort ever gets on an Arclight, it usually is dead. And it's not the other way around, right? The Arclight needs time to work, but we see EMP coming out for the Arclights, so this could change some dynamics here, right? We have field maintenance on our Wraiths as well, which, if the Arclights do manage to get to tag the fortress, we're going to be dealing with no real effective AA, and it looks like on the right, and in the middle, these Arclights are tagging these fortresses. So these Phoenixes are getting a lot of work done, but the right is still crumbling. Oh no. This looks really bad for Doxson.
Yeah, the fortresses are very strong. I mean, it takes 2 shots to kill an Arclight, and there's really nothing left. So this actually might be game here.
Yeah, that is game.
Game here. So very good for Odyssey. I think even though he wasn't able to get the ER sledgehammers, which makes me a little sad, but I think overall with the blue fortresses, they were able to tank the Arclights, which don't have power shots and wasn't able to scale as hard as they should.
Yeah, but very heads up plays from Odyssey. I think he navigated that really well. The idea being, right, once a person kind of techs early into Arclights, you can kind of push fortresses into them, and once those fortresses start to hit like level 2, level 3, it becomes really, really hard to kill them.
Yeah. Well, it was an excellent game. I hope you enjoyed this game. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.
Yay! That was fun.
Yeah, it was kind of a sloppy game though from Odyssey, right? For example, these 2 marksmen, they got shot. I don't even know how much damage they did. I mean, this one did no damage, but this was probably a new one. This is just kept getting shut down. The fortress could have been like 2 squares ahead, and it was saved as 2 marksmen. Yeah, but it was good. It's good unit choice, I think. I think Dog just got too committed into this Arclight.
I completely agree.
Once you start seeing forts, you need to start putting melting points. Your Arclights is not going to cut it.
Eric says takes ER sledges, only has 4 and no tech. So true. So true.
Yeah, it's so sad. I was hoping for like 8 sledges with double tech at least. Just shouting it. It's beautiful. Oh well. Can't have that. Yeah, Odyssey won the tourney.
Odyssey won the tourney. Dawson took second. Apucci took third. Kind of a nice solid comeback for Apucci there.
Yeah. Who did Sparty lose to?
Sparty lost to Zenzuex, which is crazy because he's a recent streamer, and I remember watching him wallowing in 900 MMR, but now he's crushing it up into, beating 1600s.
Nice.
But it looks like Zenzuex lost to Sparty round 1, and it looks like
that's revenge.
round 2, Sir Mike didn't ready up. He got a bye round 3, and then round 4 beat Sparty.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Must felt good. Yeah.
Taking fourth in an 8 pod is like pretty respectable.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for joining me again, Clint. This has been excellent.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. We'll meet up maybe for next midweeks, or then if not, then not this week but next week.
Yeah, catch me next week, and maybe let's talk about some thumbnail stuff. Let's get your YouTube channel packed up. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sweet, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna let you go and get back into some laddering.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, take it easy, dude.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.